upon himself the death of everyone's sin, you have to understand when he looked into that cup what he saw. And what he saw wasn't simply little things. What he understood as being the Lamb taking upon himself God's wrath, he took upon himself something greater, something bigger than what we understand. When he looked into that cup, he saw what the Christians, the first century church, was going to go through. He saw the sin of those persecuting, those who were followers. He saw them suffering in his name because of the sin of other people. He saw that. He saw their death. He saw their struggle. He saw their plight. He saw all of that. He understood it. And he knew that he had to take upon himself the sin of those persecuting his children. And a lot of us go, whoa, absolutely, I can see that being a big deal. And then you have to understand that he took upon himself war. He took upon himself the sin of mankind and the wars that we start and the murder that we take on because of territory, because of the things that we do. He took that upon himself. He saw that in the cup. And he saw the killing fields in Cambodia. And he saw all of these horrible things. But then think even a step further of what was in there. What was the greatest, probably painful thing he saw? Was sin in his name. And you think about the things that he saw in the cup when he looked in and he realized how many people are going to use my name for forgiveness for murder. You don't think he saw the Crusades? You don't think he saw someone with a cross on their shield bearing it and slaughtering people in his name? And how about the horrible things that were taking place through all of the years of things that we did in his name? The sin that he took upon himself in that moment was centuries and millenniums of reality. And the depth of emotion that came with that when he says, I don't know that I can do this. See, for many of us, the truth is if I asked you to sit here and say, I would like you to stand up, and why don't you just give us a good quality, good-looking scope of the sin in your life? Most of you would get jelly-kneed before you got halfway up here. Right? I would. Right? You guys are like, no, I got no problem admitting mine. Well, then you're better than most of us. But the reality is that you would get jelly-kneed just trying to discuss your own scope of reality. Now imagine feeling it all. Imagine understanding that the wrath of God, the cup, the Old Testament cup, the wrath of God being poured out, the having to take upon yourself the wrath of God, and then take on all of that. Take on an understanding that God's wrath is going to be poured out on you for everybody. For people, the Spanish Inquisition. For all of the horrible atrocities that have taken place in the history of mankind for the last 2,000 years. Think about those atrocities and then think about taking that on. Think about the fact that he went to the cross for the people committing those atrocities. Think about the fact that he took upon himself the sin of the most awful individuals that we label in history and say that, yes, I accept that. But that's what he was doing. And that's why he said, it's cool if you want to go another direction. I would be okay with not having the wrath of all of this poured out on me.